What dark secrets lie within the branches of the Brock family tree? Well, atop to the pages of Venom issue number 10 and find out for ourselves, shall we? Alrighty then, so as we join the comic, we're reminded that after returning to San Francisco, Eddie Brock discovered he had a brother, a little half-brother in fact, one who, get this, is a massive Venom fan. In fact, he basically talks Eddie's ear off about how Venom is the coolest and the toughest and he can beat up anyone and he's cooler than Spider-Man because his moral code is not so rigidly defined. So, basically he's that one annoying fan you don't want to get stuck behind in line and at your next con, and hey, I can make that joke because I've been that guy. Eventually, the kid works up the courage to ask why their mutual father hates Eddie so much, and I mean, he clearly hates everyone. This kid did come to Eddie hoping for help in murdering his father, and the story is pretty shocking. Now, all throughout this series, we've seen flashbacks to a day involving Eddie in a car accident. Now, we assume that it was Eddie who actually got hit by the car, and that's what caused the rift between him and his father. Only, no, wait, put on your M. Night Shyamalan hats, everyone, because there was a twist involved. Eddie wasn't the kid who got hit, Eddie was the one who was driving, and he was drunk, and the kid was killed. Obviously, this tragic turn of events positively destroyed Eddie, and he wanted nothing more than to throw himself on the court's justice for what he did, but his father had other ideas. As the comic even tells us, justice should have been swift in this situation, but Eddie's dad was rich, he was young, white, and in America, and as such, everything was just swept under the rug. Now, Eddie desperately tried to admit his wrongdoing, but Daddy Carl had other ideas, viciously beating his son until he swore to say that he was not guilty. He would then spend the next couple years and most of his family fortune paying off judges, lawyers, cops, and even the dead kid's family, which only made the relationship between father and son much worse. Not that Carl was ever that much of a well-adjusted individual, he's clearly using his new son Dylan as a punching bag as well, which is why Dylan hoped he could get Eddie's help in killing him, but he didn't really mean it so much as he was just sort of talking out loud. Now, Eddie vows to try and help his little half-brother out, but it's at that moment he ends up coming under attack by Null once again, or at least what he views to be Null. After all, Eddie is in a bad way right now. The symbiote is damaged beyond all repair seemingly, his memories are being edited, and now he's being haunted by the image of Null out to get him. All of this ends up getting so bad that Eddie passes out on the street and his brother has no choice but to take him into a hospital, which is a terrible idea because the Maker and his goons are already on the lookout for him. If nothing else though, the evil ultimate version of Reed Richards is a doctor and able to give Eddie quite the prognosis. He's suffering from a lifetime of mental scarring as well as some acute PTSD. His nervous system is all out of whack alongside the symbiote, and oh, did I mention his cancer just came back, and there's a lot of it as the comic winds down. So that was Venom issue number 10, everybody, and overall it was a sad, depressing, but ultimately very effective little emotional gut punch of an issue. You know how people will sometimes say that was the feel-good story of the year? Well, this is the opposite of that. It's the feel-bad story of the year crafted by Donny Cates, filled with cancer, illness, and child abuse. But he doesn't get all the credit. You gotta give Stegman his due on art duty. He crafts tears in such a realistic way. Ultimately, I'd give this one an 8.5 out of 10. Just a really solid read. Oh, hey there, didn't see you come in. I'm Cape Joel. Thanks so much for watching to the end of the video. I'm just hanging out here trying to figure out how to keep these intros fresh and interesting for everybody. Like the video, that would be nice, I'd appreciate it, but I'm not going to push you to do it. You can also follow me on Twitter and Facebook at Cape Joel, so you can keep up to date on what I'm doing next. I have an Instagram. I feel like I don't push the Instagram enough, but I have it. I have a backup gameplay channel as well. I get the feeling people who watch my comic content don't really want to watch me play video games, at least that's what the numbers would tell me, but it's the Joel Daily channel. You can also see me play games live on the Cape Joel Twitch. I got a tip jar down there, I got a Patreon page, got an Amazon wish list. Some of you were really nice to do that for me. That's where I get fun, cool sweaters like this off my Amazon wish list. I appreciate the people who do that. It's really nice of them. And yeah, that's all I got to say. Man, it's hard to try and keep these outros fresh sometimes, I tell you. But thanks again for watching, and I'll be back again later, just smacking those comics up, man. Just doing it. Did I call it Comic Smack? because I make the smack sound, or am I saying that comics are my addiction, and that's why it's Comic Smack? I dropped the Comic Smack after a bit because the channel is called Cape Joel. I should really have called it all Comic Smack from the beginning of it. Oh, well, hindsight's 20/20. Goodbye, everyone.